4 days after a major earthquake rocked Japan, authorities are in a race against time to locate survivors among the 242 people believed still to be missing. The death toll has now risen to 92. Japan's western coastline was worst affected by the 7.6 magnitude event, which flattened entire neighbourhoods and damaged infrastructure. A large area of land was flooded by the tsunami triggered by the earthquake. Japan's government has earmarked around 30 million euros worth of aid to support affected communities. Our correspondent James Chater joins us from Wajima, one of the worst affected areas. Welcome, James. Give us a sense of the situation there.
Well, where I'm currently standing is outside what used to be Wajima's morning market. This used to be a really key part of the city, a really bustling part of the city. In almost every direction I can see now, there is complete devastation. The reason why the devastation was so bad at this particular location is shortly after the earthquake struck here, there was a fire that ripped through much of the buildings that are around me. The reason I'm wearing a hard hat is because the weather also today has been pretty bad, very strong winds and strong rain as well. And because there's so much loose debris on the buildings, a lot of it has been falling off and blowing into the road. As you mentioned, search and rescue operations are ongoing. There's one taking place about 100 meters in front of us just here, where a gentleman is still looking for his wife, who was, we believe, trapped under the rubble in a building just in front of us 3 days ago, but still no signs. There were police officers looking for about 2 hours just now, and they couldn't find her.
Right. The devastation we see behind you looks absolute. Where have people been moved to? And is there a plan for them to return to their homes?
Well, in the immediate aftermath of the earthquake, where most people have been relocated to is medical centres within Wajima city itself and other medical facilities. Some people are in hospitals as well. The bigger question really is, in the long term, where these people can return to. In Wajima, there are so many homes that have been destroyed. People are feeling very raw at the moment and not really sure what the future holds. In comparison to a point of comparison, which might be a useful one to draw on here, is that after the 2011 earthquake, in which tens of thousands of people died in Japan, some people were relocated to government provided facilities, but then ended up being in those houses for many years whilst homes were rebuilt for them, but the temporary homes weren't of necessarily the best quality. If you look at the level of destruction here, although the death toll hasn't been as high as that earthquake in 2011, you can imagine that it's going to be months, if not years, before this city, Wajima, returns to any semblance of normality.
And a quick word about international aid. Japan has said that it will only accept international aid from the United States. Why is that?
Yeah, we asked this question to a police officer just a moment ago, and he was a little bit confused as well. He said that, if countries are willing to offer aid, they should be accepting it wherever it comes from. The likely reason is that the level of cooperation and communication between Japan and the US is already pretty strong. There are some 50,000 US personnel, military personnel stationed in Japan. And so the level of kind of collaboration that already exists is probably quite high. And the important context again here is that this region is very remote, and it's difficult to kind of coordinate different emergency response teams coming to this area, and that's probably why they've elected to just go in a sense with what they know.
Thanks for that, James. DW's James Chater in Japan.